Hi everybody, how you doing today? I'm going to do a healthier version of a sweet potato casserole, and most of the ones that are on the internet and all that, they call for sugar topping with pecans, and if you got people with nut allergies, that's not going to work. The extra sugar makes it taste like dessert. On my grandma's table at Thanksgiving, we never had all that foo-foo on the top. Sweet potatoes were sweet potatoes. So what I'm going to do today is take away that sugar top and give you real sweet potatoes with a little bit of flavorings and sweeteners. Let me show you how we put it together. Right here I have 5 large yams that I baked in the oven, 450 for an hour. What I did is I rolled them up in foil, and then I put them on I put the foil around them, and then I put them on a cookie sheet that was also lined in foil, and let them bake. And then I took them out, I let them sit to cool, and then because I roll them up this way, when I took them out, all I had to do is take that one piece on the top, there was a seam, and they rolled right out onto my plate. Next, what I did is I cut them in half. I needed them to cool down before I could handle them. And then the peeling just came right off. So you don't have to peel them. Other methods are peeling, chopping, putting in boiling water, which is fine. 20 minutes in boiling water and you have the same effect, only mine is, I think, a little bit easier. Okay, first of all, we're going to take the mixer and we're just going to mash the potatoes down. Sort of like if you were mashing potatoes, regular potatoes, for mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. You notice I'm not turning the mixer on yet. I want these to mash down. And when I was baking them, when I wanted to check to see if they were done, I took a fork, stuck it through the foil, and when it felt tender and not hard, that means they're done. Okay, next I'm going to add 1 banana that I mashed up with a fork on a paper plate. Now, it wasn't brown when I started. It got brown because it's been sitting out. So now in your potatoes you might notice some brown spots. If you want a great presentation, you might want to take them out, but they're just where the potato was sitting on the cookie sheet. Okay, I'm going to mash this in. Next I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar-free orange marmalade. And this is from Smucker's. And we're going to go with an orange taste today. Trust me, you'll love it. Uh-oh. Okay, next, another tablespoon. I did a starter recipe with 3 tablespoons. And I thought it was a little bit much. And so we're going to start blending this together on low speed. Yes, you will have splatter. Okay, now we have to add the wet ingredients plus the spices. What I have here is a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of orange juice, which I squeezed out of the oranges that I had, navel oranges. It was half of a navel orange. See? And then I've got 2 tablespoons of my plant-based butter. Now you can use coconut oil, 2 tablespoons melted. And then I'm going to put in teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, 2 eggs. Oh, I almost spilt that on myself. That would have been something to clean up. Now we have 1 cup of coconut milk out of the can. This is reduced fat. You can use almond milk, which I almost did today, but I'm going to use the coconut. Next we have a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Don't go crazy with it because we don't want to fight the marvelous pumpkin pie at the end that's dessert. This is just veggies. This is not dessert. And then I put half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. That's optional. And we still have some maple syrup in here. Got to use that. And I think we're ready to mix. Now, this is going to splatter if you're not careful. So I'm going to put it, I'm going to kind of try to mix it up with just my beaters, like this, to get it a little bit incorporated before I turn the mixer on. Now people, you can use a spoon to do this. You don't have to use a mixer. I just like the creaminess of the potatoes. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on low and see what we do. I've got it scraped down the sides of my bowl. This is looking really good already. I'll probably cut out some of the mixing so you won't have to listen to that much. Now we're going to taste it. It's very important to taste it to see if you have enough of everything. Looks fluffy. That's why I like the coconut milk, because it mixes up and makes it fluffy. You know what? I think I'm going to add another tablespoon of the marmalade. That is awesome. I love the taste, but it needs a little bit more orange. We're going to flip it on high again, get it all incorporated, and then we're going to put it in the oven. 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Whoa, almost had a splash. A little bit. Okay, I'm going to use the same spoon. Don't get mad at me. If you were sitting here in my kitchen, I would not use the same spoon. It was in my mouth, but there's only the two of us here. Now I'm going to taste it. That is really good. Okay, now I'm going to put it in a 9 by 13 greased pan. If you have a chance and you haven't, it's not an island, it's a peninsula like this, see if your electrician can put a plug in the end of it. It comes in so handy. Nine by 13. I'm going to scrape it in here, put it in the oven, then we'll come, oh, I have one more step, never mind. Darn, this is heavy. I'll come back in a minute. I need cameraman Paul to help me with this. It's done and it looks beautiful. I want to give you some helpful hints. Once you get it in that bowl that you mixed it up, before you bake it, you can freeze it. That means you can go way back in June or July and make this, put it in the freezer, and then Thanksgiving Day, all you do is thaw it out, put it in your pan, and then bake it. My suggestion is get a big, not the gallon size, but maybe bigger plastic bag, and put it all in, put the batter in there. I call it batter, but it's just potatoes. Put that in there, flatten it out, and it'll fit in your freezer much better. Make sure you label it so you know what it is. Second of all, I hope you will enjoy this. And I'm going to take the rest of that honey with cinnamon in it. We're going to do another drizzle. This is optional. You don't have to do this. The kids will think they're eating chocolate syrup. But make your sweet potatoes, not your not dessert potatoes. That's what your pumpkin pie is for. And the optional ingredients, you don't have to use coconut cream or coconut milk. Use whatever you want. I have almond milk in the refrigerator. Others might want to have something that they prefer. You don't have to use butter. Actually, if you think about it, you don't have to use any oil at all if you don't want to. And then there's ways of it's a very simple recipe that you don't have to use just what you want, what you are used to. Alternative sweeteners, you don't have to have the maple syrup. Use a couple, I don't know how you measure sweeteners, but I would use a couple teaspoons. Remember, keep it sweet potatoes. It's not a dessert. So let me wipe this over a little bit. Sticky. And I'm going to spoon this out so you can take a look at it. Oh, look at that. That's wonderful. I use five sweet potatoes. I'll put the recipe down below. And I use about this size. I don't know if you can see it. I always screw things up. This size sweet potato, I cut the ends off because I don't like them. And then of course I put them in foil like I told you. And I'm going to try to let this cool down a little bit so I can taste it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over. Bring this over here so I can test this for you. Remember, don't bake it too long. It'll turn out like a dried up cake. I can really taste the banana, cinnamon, hot. This is wonderful. It's fruity, it's sweet potato, doesn't have all that foo-foo on the top, no nuts. Kids will look at it, and I mean, I have grandkids that would look at that nut topping and go, oh, I don't want that. So I think this way they'll just be eating a sweet, not too sweet, but a sweet dish that goes along with their Thanksgiving sides. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Push that like button and push that bell so you can get more of my videos. I'm going to be adding onto my end screen my pumpkin pie with nut crust. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end and then you can get the link for that. See ya. Bye.